Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Oh, oh, Bill and Allie aren't streaming tonight. I even told them I was going to hold my breath until they put their stream on, and I stomped my foot and I crossed my arms. And I told them I was going to die. I was going to die because I can't breathe. And they didn't stream tonight. So I got off work like a minute ago. And we're just going to stream. We're going to stream for them. But this is really Bill's stream and Allie's stream. I'm here, but I'm not really here. This is their stream. This is their stuff. Okay, it's not their stuff because if it's bad, then they're gonna get shit for it. So it's not their stuff. Oh my gosh, Tiff is here. Hi, Tiff. Okay, let's just get going. I will tell you this is part one, but there might not be a part two, and I'll tell you why I think that once we're done. But this is part one. This is what we got today.
Car almost into my body.
Okay, wonderful, sweet, thank you. So you were
Okay, on that note, this is the wife and this is the husband. And they're in court or they're divorced. I don't know if they're divorced yet. This could be the divorce case. I don't know. Here we go.
walking down your driveway.
Which curves?
You were walking down your driveway, Mrs. Hetzer?
That's correct.
Okay.
Which curves towards the
Thank you
road?
very much. Can you go to page 1 of your petition for a temporary protective order, the February 19th incident?
I don't think I would
Can you go
play
to the middle
them.
of the paragraph where it says, I backed away from his vehicle and turned my camera on. At this point, I was between him and the road in the driveway. He began driving on the grass, and I was continuing
No,
to
sir,
move.
as I've explained to you, Mr. Kelly, you asked questions of her and.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize.
And Mr. Kelly, I'm being very patient.
Yes, sir.
Your question is?
Your testimony today is that you were walking down your driveway. Is that true?
I did walk down the driveway, yes.
And in this motion, do you state that you were walking down your driveway or backing away?
I don't know if I was walking forward or backward. You were driving toward
Can
me.
you please read what you wrote?
Okay, I'm not sure what the question is. You want me to read what I wrote?
Did you write, I backed away from his vehicle?
That is correct. I did.
Today, you're stating that you were walking down the driveway.
I did both
You were walking forward?
at one point. Yes.
Can you point out in this paragraph, read the section where you say, I was walking down my driveway?
When it says I backed away from his vehicle, I was on my feet walking away from you.
So you never at any point walked towards the path of my vehicle?
That's correct. I did not.
Ronna, can we play a video, please?
Well, we're going to apply the rules of evidence, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, I would like to
And the
introduce
question first is, before it can be played, it needs to be admitted into the record.
Okay, I'd like to admit a video into the
No, sir, we've got to do it in accordance with the law.
Okay, sir. I've got an easier solution if it
You got a what
pleases the
now?
court. I have an easier solution if it pleases the court.
Well, I don't know that it does until I understand the solution.
One huge problem we're going to see here is this judge speaks very, very slow. And this man speaks so fast that he's already speaking before he starts speaking. So that causes issues.
So I've got can I give this to her? This is Abel Rios's.
What is?
This is an incident report for that incident filed by Deputy Abel Rios of the Leckley County Sheriff's Office, where he describes what the video shows.
I have showed this judge a couple other times, but I do no idea what his name is, and I don't think anybody else shows him.
Well, that would be hearsay. Is the deputy present to testify?
Cindy Hetzer is.
All right, and you're going to ask her what? Is that what she said to the deputy?
The deputy is describing what is actually visual. Can we? I would be happy to enter the video as evidence, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Kelly, I'm not opposed to that, but you need to follow the rules that you need to follow for me to accept it into evidence. That's all I'm saying to do. I'm not trying to impede you, but I want the rules to be followed.
Sir, if I could get access to the internet, Bleckley County Courthouse.
I believe this is Jefferson County, Georgia. It's either Jefferson County or I think Dawson County.
Website, I can look up to see what that rule is, so I can comply with that rule.
We're in court now.
There's no lawyers. It's just husband versus wife.
Why did you walk down your driveway?
Because I was afraid of you.
Why didn't you walk towards your house?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wish
Why
that
were
I
you
had.
banging on my window?
Because you had indicated that you had, I wasn't banging, I was knocking.
You were not.
And you had
banging on my
indicated
window?
that you had something for me.
You weren't banging on my window? You weren't angry?
No, sir, I wasn't angry.
Did you convey fear to your children?
I'm not
Were
sure
you
what that
aware that
means.
your children were watching you angrily banging on the window? Were you aware that your children witnessed that?
I was aware the children were in the car.
And you were still choosing to angrily bang on my window?
As I've already said, I wasn't angry or banging.
Did I have an obligation to give you a jar that morning?
You had indicated you had some for
Did I
me,
have
yes.
an obligation to give you a jar that
Mr.
morning?
Kelly, when you pose a question to her, you're going to show respect to allow her to complete her response before you make any additional comment.
Yes, sir.
Do we have an understanding to
Yes, sir.
that? You can answer his initial question.
Sorry, what was the question, please, again?
Did I have an obligation to give you a jar that morning?
An obligation? No, but you had indicated you would.
Do I have an obligation to follow through with something that I chose that I would do previously?
Do you have an obligation? No, but that's why I took the actions that I took.
Were you seeking conflict that morning?
No, I was not.
I asked you for a jar that morning, correct?
You had asked
Are
me
you
for...
saying a jar?
A jar, yes, sir, a mason jar.
Okay. All right.
My door is ajar.
And it's actually on the record, Your Honor.
No, sir, I just wanted to make sure I appreciated what you were saying.
A jar, it's a mason jar.
Okay.
Did I send children home with milk in a mason jar regularly from my house to your house?
Occasionally, yes.
And on this particular morning, did I ask for you to return one of those jars when you brought the children back to me?
Yes.
And what was your response?
My response was, I think that that's my jar. It had my lid on it.
And then I told you that it was my jar.
You indicated it was your jar that you had gotten from a Christmas party.
And then what?
And I said, okay, I will send it with the children. And then you said, and I have some jars for you. And I said, okay, just send them back can you send one of the boys back to me at the property line with my jar? And you said, no, you need to come to my back door to get it. And I said, I'm not coming to your house. And you said, well, then I'm not sending your jars back. And then I said, well, then I'm not sending your jars back. And then you said, I will just bring them to your front door. And I said, please park behind the silver gate.
When you walked to my car asking for the jar, did I respond to you?
No, you did not.
What did I do?
I don't recall what you did.
Did I ignore you?
All right, Mr. Kelly, we're here for this extraordinary motion about new evidence, perjury, and not to rehash what has previously been heard by a court.
This has never been heard by a court, Your Honor.
All right. And how is it relevant then to?
Because this is what,
Ooh, we had an understanding. When I speak, nobody else speaks. You speak over me again.
Sorry, Judge.
Do you understand?
yes, sir.
How is this relevant to the issues in your motion, sir?
She admitted to perjuring herself about this in front of Magistrate Brown. Everything about this incident that she put in this affidavit is a lie. And she admitted to it on talking to Magistrate Brown.
So how is her saying what she's saying today an omission of what was said to Magistrate Brown?
She's saying that I tried to hit her with my car. And that's not what was established.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with these mason jars and swapping back and forth? And it just appears to me, Mr. Kelly, that we're getting a little far from the subject matter of your motion.
No.
Just kind of yay
Judge, stop. Let him go. I want to hear about the jars.
and back and forth between each other.
Yeah.
And I'm not inclined to allow that. I'm here today to hear your legitimate evidence in regards to your motion.
Okay. So I don't have any more questions for her, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say, Ms. Hetzer?
No, sir.
Why don't you step down?
I forgot to hit like yesterday, but I didn't tell Kelly, but then I remembered.
All right, Mr. Kelly, you can call your next witness and understand, I want to make sure you appreciate that you've got the right to testify if that's what you wish to do.
Yes, sir. I'd like to call Max Hetzer, please. Max Hetzer.
Hester?
Her husband.
Okay. I didn't quite hear you. There's a little bit of an echo.
Okay,
in
okay.
there.
Sorry.
If it's her husband, then they're they're already divorced and they're talking about the kids. This is the whole custody battle.
All right, Mr. Hetzer. Mr. Hetzer, if you'll come, step up in the witness box. Once you get in the witness box, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. Please take a seat. After you're seated, if you state your name for the record, and then
So our
spell it
marriages.
for the benefit of the court reporter, please.
My name is Dr. Max Edward Hetzer. And what else? I'm sorry.
Spell it for the court reporter, your name, please.
M-A-X-H-E-T as in Tom, Z as in zebra, E-R.
Thank you, sir. You may begin with your examination, Mr. Kelly.
You live at 137 Lucas Road.
I do.
Are you married to Cindy Hetzer?
Yes.
What is your relationship to me?
I don't have one.
You don't have any relationship with me?
With you? No.
Okay. Were you in your driveway working on your boat on April 2nd?
I do not recall.
Your wife was screaming something from the driveway. You
Wait
were
a
working
minute,
on
wait a minute. He said he didn't recall being in the driveway. So if you've got another question, did you hear anything? You know, but just because when he says he doesn't recall, then we got to go at it a different way, Mr. Kelly.
Do you recall being in your driveway working on your boat on a day that you heard your wife screaming from the driveway?
I do not recall being in my driveway working on my boat when you alleged that my wife was screaming.
Have you heard your wife screaming from the driveway?
When?
On April 2nd.
I bet she wants him too. Woo-wee.
Do not recall. I don't recall April 2nd.
Have you heard your wife screaming, "He's a felon," from her driveway?
No.
Your wife testified on April 25th that you heard it.
I have heard screaming on some day. I don't know exactly when that was.
So you're saying your wife's testimony on April 25th that you heard her is not true testimony then?
No,
No what?
that's not what I'm saying.
So when she testified on April 25th that you were May 9th, that you were in your driveway working on your boat and she was screaming, "He's a felon, he's a felon," and that you heard her, she was lying to the court on May 9th. Is that what
I
your
was not
testimony
in the courtroom whenever that testimony was placed, so I do not know.
I'm telling you that that's what your wife testified to. You're saying
Thank
He
that
said
custody.
he doesn't know, Mr. Kelly. Let's go on to another line of questioning, please.
so you don't know. Is your wife honest with you?
Yes,
Always?
yes,
Is there any time that you've been
I hope not in front of all of us.
dishonest with your wife?
yes.
And so there's never been a time when she's dishonest with you?
As far as I know, no.
Never?
I do
That
not know.
question's been asked and answered. Let's go on, Mr. Kelly.
I'm sorry, I don't know enough to get where I need to be. So I guess I'm done with him. I don't know how to, they're defrauding the court and they know it. And they know it.
We need some tissues over at
Do you
the
have any more
plaintiff's table.
questions of this witness?
No.
You can step down. I'm going to ask that you go and stay outside the courtroom.
Yes, sir. I'd like to call James Rockefeller.
I'm sorry.
James Rockefeller.
I need Mr. Rockefeller.
Do you think any lawyer would have taken this case? I guess for money. Yeah, lots of lawyers would.
Mr. Rockefeller, if you'll be kind enough to come and stand in the witness.
If you wander over to the members only videos, that's all on you. You're being warned right now that the content is a little bit not PG-ish.
Box there, upon arriving, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can be seated.
Thank you.
Upon being seated, if you'll be kind enough to state your name for the record and then spell it for the benefit of the court.
A. James Rockefeller, A. period James, James, Rockefeller, Rockefeller.
You may proceed, Mr. Kelly.
Are you honest, James?
Yes,
Have you ever directed Cindy Hetzer to omit details from the court?
I cannot answer that question because it's protected by
Have you ever
attorney-client privilege.
directed?
Hold on just a minute. Mr.
Sorry.
Kelly.
I thought it was
Yeah.
done.
All right, this is his stream right here. This is Bill's stream. Everybody, this Bill had technical issues. So this is Bill's stream. If the content during this stream is really good, it was his content, him and Allie's content. If the content during this stream was bad, I put bad stuff on Bill's stream to sabotage him. Sabotage. Bill, I'm so sorry you guys had technical problems. It sucks. I know Allie's running around all over the place. No, this judge is, I've played him once or twice before, but I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it that Cullen played this judge. Because you have to get him in a different way.
You heard him still talking. Mr. Rockefeller, as I understand it, you're invoking your right of privilege in light of the fact that you were representing Ms. Hetzer at the time
Yes.
of the incident. He's
Me and Bill are in fierce competition. Fierce.
asking you about.
Yes.
You'll need to go on to something else.
Yes, sir. Can I get clarification? Are we just talking about the motion for the extraordinary motion for a new trial, or are we talking about the other motions that are scheduled?
We're talking about, we're taking them one at a time.
Okay,
Mr.
I understand, sir.
He does not
So you've
understand.
never directed your client to lie to this court?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay. Have you lied to this court?
I have not.
Not under any circumstances?
Not knowingly.
I don't have any more questions for him about that incident, Your Honor.
All right.
Nice.
Mr.
That was a good
Rockefeller
one.
asked that you go back outside.
Bonjour.
All right, you can call your next witness.
I don't have any more witnesses.
You do not wish to testify.
I think that was her lawyer during the divorce or the custody trial. This is an ex parte motion for an emergency change of the protection order by him.
Sure, I can testify.
All right, if you'll be kind enough to come up to the witness stand.
Can I bring stuff?
You can bring whatever you wish to bring, Mr. Kelly, but you're going to need to identify what it is you're testifying from, okay? All right, Mr. Kelly, you've seen other witnesses.
I was just, yes.
You've raised your right hand. Thank you. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You can be seated if you'll be kind enough to state your name. And after you state your name, if you'll spell it for the benefit of the court reporter, please.
Joseph Kelly, JOSEPH KELLY.
All right.
On
Now, understand this, Mr. Kelly. You can use documents to refresh your memory, okay, about your testimony. But if you want the court to rely on those documents, they're going to have to be admitted into evidence, which means you've got to follow the rules of evidence to get them admitted.
yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
On April 2nd, Ruth Skaggs and I were walking down the street with my two sons, Connor and Oscar. Their mother was coming from the opposite direction, and upon seeing us, she was about 200 yards away. Upon seeing us, she crossed the street and came to us, deliberately got into our path. And in that moment, after she started hugging the boys, I saw she was holding her camera. So I turned my camera on to record the incident. And this video is present on the cell phone and the computer that's currently in the possession of GBI. So the incident that she's denying is recorded, it is on video, the tail end of the interaction. After she hugs the boys, she passes me, like brushes past me, like angry. And she thrusts her phone out in front of her, like arm extended out like this. And she sticks it into Ruth Skaggs' face as she walks by. And she's got this, as evidenced by the video, this angry scowl on her face. And nobody is laughing. I apologize to, or when I see Cindy Hetzer doing this, I say, "Are you crazy?" to Cindy Hetzer. And she continues to walk away backwards, filming Ruth before she turns and goes up her driveway. And the incident is over as far as Ruth and I know. I apologized to Ruth. I said, "I didn't know that was happening. I'm sorry. We should have gone the other way." And Ruth said she was, I can't say what Ruth said. we continued about our trip. We started walking and we were talking about the incident. And the next thing we know, Cindy is screaming. I hear somebody screaming and I look back and Cindy is standing at the foot of her driveway next to the roadway screaming, "He's a felon! He's a felon! He's a felon!" On March 25th, she threatened to tell Ruth that I had a felony background. On March 25th, she threatened to tell Ruth that I had a felony in my record.
Well, let me understand something, Mr. Kelly. Is that a true statement?
I'm not, yes, sir, it is a true statement. I'm not claiming she's defaming me.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understand.
It's family violence. She was trying to destroy my relationship with Ruth before it began. That was her motive.
Okay.
It was vindictive and it was mean and it was spiteful and it was deliberate and it was angry and it was disgusting.
Georgia.
It was disgusting because she couldn't.
We're
Yes,
not
sir.
here for you to comment about your
So
feelings about it, Mr. Roy. We're here today for me to determine whether you have sufficient evidence to warrant me granting a motion, extraordinary motion for new trial.
on May 9th, on April 8th, rather, I went to the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office with this incident as part of the evidence of stalking and harassment.
Yeah, he right, I'm wrong. He right, I'm wrong. This is Bleckley County.
Deliberate stalking and harassment by Cindy Hetzer, where Deputy Abel Rios and Deputy Dwayne Hunter told me that they weren't going to take my report seriously because I waited so long to report all of the other incidents. And then they suggested that I move.
And I'm not going to allow you to testify about what somebody else
Okay,
said, Mr. Kelly.
I understand. So I went to report this incident, this April 2nd incident, to law enforcement. And I was directed to file a pre-warrant hearing for it, which I did. At that pre-warrant hearing on May 9th, Cindy acknowledged that she was screaming, "He's a felon," but she wasn't in the roadway. She was in her driveway. And so she wasn't lying.
She did.
Because she was technically in her driveway, not the roadway. And her statement was, "I didn't scream at them from the roadway." And everything that Cindy has testified to has been a little bit of the truth with some nefarious spin thrown in to make her look like the victim. And it's
While I'm working, while I'm driving, while I'm cooking.
repeated. It's like on February 19th, I'm just trying to pick up my kids and leave without conflict. And
Ruth is not
immediately
dead.
when I won't engage with her in the way that she wants me to, she sends me an email telling me that I attempted to run over with my car. On here recently, it's just a continual cycle of Cindy getting caught acting badly and then twisting it to make it about something that Joseph did instead to deflect from her behavior.
I love him. All I'm saying is if I married him, I would be completely amused 24/7.
And none of this was litigated on April 25th. My attorney chose to ask Cindy Hetzer questions about a 3.5-year-old breastfeeding schedule to which he was admonished 3 times by the judge, instead of asking her substantial questions about her allegations in the Family Violence Protective Order. My belief, I don't have any more testimony about that incident, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hetzer, do you have any questions for Mr. Kelly?
That was absolutely helpful for his entire case. I get it now.
All right, you can step down, Mr. Kelly. All right, have you any other evidence, Mr. Kelly?
No, sir, not on that motion.
All right. Ms. Hetzer, do you have any evidence you'd like to present to the court in regards to this motion?
No, sir, I didn't realize it was being heard today. I do have evidence, but I don't have it here.
That's fine. Well, it was notice was duly sent. All right. Do you wish to make an argument, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, sir. So credibility is supposed to be paramount in family violence court, any court. We're supposed to be honest when we're testifying. On May 9th, she apologized to the court for stating that. She admitted that she did it. She told the judge, and the judge said, "You're not afraid of him, and I don't believe anything you say that says you're afraid of him." Sarah Wall, in her protective order, doesn't put any restrictions on me whatsoever about that. Sarah Wall didn't believe that I posed a threat or a risk to her based on her testimony, based on the facts that she presented.
I thought Judge Wall issued an order, a family violence protective order in the case.
Yes, sir, but it didn't include any stay away or any restrictions against either of us. We're still permitted to, it just prohibited surveillance and following and malicious activity. It didn't prohibit anything else that we were normally doing on the day-to-day basis with our children, except for restricting how we could communicate with each other. She admitted to lying, and her distinction in the courtroom was that I wasn't in the roadway when I made that statement, so I wasn't lying. And I don't have the computer, so I don't have the internet. So there's a Georgia code that identifies that any act intended to defraud, or any device intended to defraud the court, and a statement that I'm not in the roadway, I'm in my driveway is an attempt to deceive. She didn't say anything to us, and she did. Her testimony about the almost hitting me with her vehicle, the police reports say that didn't happen. Law enforcement, Sheriff
Ham
Tate,
and cheese.
Jeff Simpson, they were here and they heard her say, I wasn't in the roadway, I was in my driveway when I was screaming.
If this is too sad, let me know, and I'll stop it right away.
As if it was a defense for lying and taking my kids from me.
Take it to the one away tab.
She's a liar, Your Honor, and the record is abundantly clear. Anytime that she's made an accusation about me, there's some incident that preceded her in that accusation. And so I just request that you look at her credibility and
Can you hear me? I have a message saying my browser is lost. Oh no, I think I'm gone now. Can you hear me? I've got no camera. What is going on? Can anybody hear me? Okay, I'm gonna press play.
Look at the facts. Look at her
Green.
motivation versus
Get my green
mine.
screen.
Further, you have told me that you rejected my affidavits because they weren't certified, and so I had to correct that.
When was this now?
It was in the
I've seen you twice.
No, I'm sorry. When I say you told me, I meant through your motions and through your actions. I filed affidavits of indigence that you rejected because they were unsigned.
No, sir. I reviewed those. I was not given the complete record. I reviewed those. You made some or stated some concern about those. And then I subsequently entered an order saying that upon your filing verified affidavits of your indigency, I would then sign an order saying that you were in fact indigent. And I have done that.
I'm not disputing that, Your Honor. That's not the argument that I'm making.
I don't understand your argument. And, go ahead.
So I submitted an unsigned affidavit to the clerk, and she submitted to you, and you responded saying, I will accept this once it's certified.
Once it was notarized?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the argument that I'm making. That you
and then in what regard is that applicable to this scenario?
She submitted an unsigned, unnotarized affidavit to a judge who signed it.
Well,
notarized it.
She submitted a verification that was sworn to in front of Judge Johnson, who verified it. You were not present in front of me when I was presented those documents.
Okay, then I don't understand. Yeah, so then I. So finally, I guess to my last argument is the conclusions of law and facts that were due from the court by Sarah Wall. And Ms. Hetzer's.
And what basis do you say they were required by?
It's not fair.
What law is it that you say they were required?
OCGA 9-11-52A.
And Mr. Kelly, that is the Civil Practice Act. That's a code section within the Civil Practice Act. My understanding of the law that the Civil Practice Act is not
Is Fozzie just going to be late all the time from now on? Is that how we're going to live now?
apply to family violence. Now, if you have something to the contrary, I will consider that.
Yes, sir. In her petition, for a family violence protective order, she requests finding of facts and conclusions of law.
That was her request.
Yes, sir.
Can you show me where you made the request?
Zero notice. Not much. Zero notice. I just streamed. But the only reason why I streamed is because I was under the assumption that Bill and Allie were having real technical issues. And then you guys were just sitting around and waiting. So I was like, bet, I'll just put something on real quick.
There's no contingency that
Hey, Melissa.
I can't ask for them. They've been requested by a party into the case.
Sorry, I assumed that because that's what I was told by them.
And if you'll give me some law that says you can't request it.
They've already been requested, Your Honor, and the court has not.
Yo, I'm serious. If you guys haven't seen Fozzie's daughter and her 3-point shots, holy crap. It's the most amazing thing ever. You got to watch her videos. She's a superstar.
Obligation to fulfill that request. And if, as soon as I find it, I'll quote the law for you.
All right, where is it in the petition?
Can I bring this to you, Your Honor? It's the page 4 of the
Hang on just a second, and I can pull it up.
petition for a temporary protective order. Paragraph G.
Hi, Chaz. No, I really was. I thought I was being nice. Was I not being nice? I wasn't. I mean, sorry.
All right, it's on page 4, you said?
Yes, sir. Section G.
Section D?
G is in
Oh,
God.
G, thank you.
Now I feel guilty all of a sudden.
All right.
I didn't mean that. I'm going to fast forward it a second until we hear some talk. Oh, he's reading? Is the judge reading right now?
The, yes, Mr. Kelly, in reviewing the order that Judge Wall entered in this matter, it is the standard order that is promulgated by the
Thank you, Bill.
Uniform Superior Court rules. And it does state certain facts. So I hear you, but I'm just wanting you to understand that.
It may be moot for you at this point, I don't know, but there's a writ of mandamus filed with the Supreme Court asking Sarah to, Judge Wall to.
You know, that's between you and the Supreme Court.
Yes,
I don't have anything to, I don't have anything I can do about that.
Don't worry, this only
I have
lasts
the authority
for a second.
to question the Supreme Court or what their actions are.
It was my intent in telling you that in case you just want to leave it to them and not address that part here.
No, sir, I'm going to address your extraordinary motion for new trial. And you brought it up.
And that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hetzer, do you have anything you want to say to the court?
The only thing I would say, sir, is that both of the events that were testified to today in the roadway and in my driveway were also heard on the 25th, and this is the second time they're being heard. And I would ask for a final disposition of these issues so we can't continue to bring them up.
All right. Based on what has been presented to me here today, court's going to deny the defendant's extraordinary motion for a new trial based on new evidence, constitutional violations, and procedural deficiencies. All right, you ready to go to your next motion?
Yes, sir. I'd also like to point out that
For everybody who came in late, like I said, we just got an answer for that one. All right. He wanted a whole new trial apparently, and he didn't get it. This one I don't think we get an answer to, but I think we get an answer to. And I'll tell you why I think that after it's over.
I've requested findings of fact and conclusion of law for that.
All right.
She said what happened in the driveway has already been brought up in court before and rolled on before, and it's up again. And she said that she said something really lawyerly, a final disposition on that issue so that he cannot bring it up again.
Which one did you want to hear next?
Where
Your
did you make that request?
It's in the pleading, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's section C of the prayer for the.
All right. Thank you for reminding the court that that was there.
I'm not sure what all, I can't access the internet, so I don't know what else is calendared for today.
Well, we've gone over that a couple of times this morning, but I will go again. The next motion I have is defendant's emergency motion for temporary protective order and modification of the existing family violence protection order to prevent ongoing family violence.
Okay. I have an exhibit here for the court. This has happened over the 3rd or this November
All right,
6th.
if you once again, you've got to you have to follow the rules of evidence, Mr. Kelly, and for me to consider anything.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this printout of a text message that I received on November 6th to the court.
From the court?
Received from an anonymous party perpetrating family violence against me.
Wait a minute, you want to show me a text?
It's a series of texts, Your Honor. They've been going on for months, and I get them periodically.
But you don't know where they're coming from.
They're anonymous, Your Honor, but there's specific information that indicates that they're coming from the Hetzers. I've reported these to law enforcement. I've offered to turn these over to law enforcement, and nobody's accepting them from me.
Well,
Don't pull out everything, please.
you're going to have
Please.
to present. I mean,
Can I call myself as a witness and I'll testify to the existence of these text messages, Your Honor,
Sure.
that I can insert
That'll
them
be
into
fine.
evidence then?
that'll be fine.
Thank you.
Once again, I need you to take the oath. And that was-
Do we believe the wife sent the messages? Hell yes, we do. I believe the wife is just ex-wife is just as bad as him. She's just smart and quiet.
take doing a different
Hi,
matter.
Victoria.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give
Victoria sent me the best TikTok today that would piss half of everybody in here off. I sent it immediately to my family.
in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, if you'll be kind enough then to state your name for the record and spell it for the benefit of the court.
Joseph Kelly, Josephkelly.
All right. And Mr. Kelly, you've indicated you want to testify about some documents.
Yes, sir. So,
Are there text messages?
yes, sir. Text
And how
messages.
do you have them marked as an exhibit?
They're unmarked as an exhibit.
They're going to need to be marked and they'll need to be placed into the record.
I will mark them as, can I get a pen from my,
Here you go. Here you go.
she's given me one, sir. I'll give her hers back and take yours. I'll mark it as this defendant's exhibit A.
All right.
I miss you, Melissa.
On November 6th at 8:53 p.m.
First off, what is the document?
The document is a printout of a text message that occurred on November 6th between 8:53 p.m. and 8:59 p.m.
It was something you received?
This is text messages that I received
Okay.
about an hour and a half after conflict with Cindy Hetzer.
All right. And you wish to admit them?
Yes, I'd like to admit these as evidence.
Ms. Hetzer, do you have any objection to the documents?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a copy of them, sir.
Have you not seen them? Just let her see them. Is that a copy she can have?
Yes, sir.
Is that the copy, is that the copy you've marked as the exhibit?
No.
And I let her look at it, and then Ms. Hetzer, if you have an objection, let me know.
I have no objection.
All right, that's submitted without objection. Now you can publish it to the court.
At 7 p.m. on Wednesday, November 6th, Cindy did not facilitate the court-ordered telephone call between the children. And shortly there, about an hour after that, I started getting these text messages. The first one was at 8:53 p.m. It says, "You should kill yourself. No one will miss you." And then the next messages are one after
Oh, that was me. My bad. I thought that was to someone else. I'm sorry, sir.
the other. "Are you listening, loser?" at 8:54 p.m. Then at 8:55, "Take a little piece of glass and cut your wrists."
I'm reading. I can, believe it or not, Mr. Kelly, I'm capable of reading.
I don't know if you want me to read it or
I do
not.
We've
Okay.
already, it's submitted into evidence, and I'll consider it.
So the importance of this is to take a little piece of glass is the significant piece that ties it to Cindy Hetzer. While she and I were in a relationship, I used to have this recurring dream where there was a piece of glass that I had fallen, and there was a piece of glass in my wrist, a small piece of glass in my wrist. And in my dream, I'm trying to get the glass out. But as I'm trying to get the glass out, I'm cutting my wrists more and more. And I ended up slitting my wrist in this dream with this small piece of glass. And this was a story that I conveyed to Cindy Hetzer probably 5-6 years ago. And so I believe that this text message is somebody referring to that.
You agree, however, there's nothing on this text message that identifies anybody.
You're right. I 100%
And the
agree.
number 909-506-0417, that's your number?
No, that's the number that it's coming from.
Oh, okay.
And this is
Have
the
you been able to establish
No.
these numbers?
so I usually the first time I happened, I
The
tried.
question is, have you been able to establish whose phone number that is?
No.
Okay.
There's been 4 of these messages over the past like 2 months, and they're just random. It's not any any specific time when I'm getting these.
Do you wish to put in all 4 of them?
I don't. I delete them and I block the user because I was just putting it out of my mind. But this particular night, I was having a pretty rough night emotionally, and it was compounded by the fact that Cindy chose to ignore the court order and refused to facilitate the court's ordered 7 p.m. phone call with the children.
I'm completely guessing here, but I think he was having a real bad day that day because of something to do with his lawn or his landscaping.
And she did so because the church wouldn't allow the children to leave the classroom. That the court ordered that the parent facilitate a 7 p.m. phone call. And this is not about that. Do I need to I would rather her testify about this than me.
Well, she didn't necessarily. Well,
I'd like to call her and,
are you three testifying?
yes, sir.
You may step down. Do you have any questions in regards to, hold on just a minute, Mr. Kelly. Do you have any questions of Mr. Kelly
Chloroform.
in regards
I get it.
to Defendant's Exhibit A? You'll be kind enough to give that to the court. You wish to call Ms. Hetzer?
Yes.
Ms. Hetzer, if you'll come to the stand, please. Sure.
Kelly's right. We are wrong. Yo, I do not miss it. No, I don't.
Ms. Hetzer, if
No.
you'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I did.
You can have a seat, state your name for the record, and once again, spell it, please.
My name is Cindy Littleton Hetzer, Cindy.
You just dropped that huge bomb in chat like it's nothing. Oh, I'm just sitting by Melissa. It's no big deal.
LittletonHetzer.
All right, Mr. Kelly.
Do you have a court-ordered obligation to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me before you make any matters, take any action in relation to our children?
The Family Violence Protective Order says after discussion, I make major decisions.
What does our 2020 parenting plan say?
The protective order takes precedence over that parenting plan.
No, it doesn't.
No, sir. You ask questions, you do not argue with it.
What does our 2020 family violence or family or our court-ordered parenting plan say about reasonable and adequate discussions about matters related to religion and our children?
I don't have it in front of me, so I can't quote that for you.
Is it your belief that the 12-month family violence protection order nullifies everything in the other court order?
No,
So is there anything in the 12-month family violence protection order that eliminates your requirement to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me?
that is addressed in the paragraph that specifies that I make final decisions after discussion with you.
Look, if you want me to bring you a beer, you need to snap the correct way. If you don't snap right, forget it. I have a stupid question I need an answer to because I need to know if I'm making a mistake right now or not. I got off work and I ran to my computer right away, but I needed coffee, so I just ordered it from Sheets. All right. And I was looking through their list for coffee. I just wanted coffee, like cream, sugar, coffee. They don't sell things like that. So I got a latte. 4 lattes, actually. Is there coffee in here? Because it tastes like chocolate or something. I don't know. Is there coffee in a latte? Just tell me I'm drinking something with coffee in it, please. I need to know. Caramel something latte. Caramel something. Yeah, they don't have coffee. You can't just order coffee from Sheets. You have to, okay. Yes, thank you.
And that's close to what the language is. I don't have the exact language in front of me.
Non-responsive, Your Honor. She didn't answer my question.
Well, she said that the new order says that she's to make all major decisions involving the children after consulting with you. And I have the order, which is part of the record in this case, and that's exactly what it says. The only thing that she omitted was that such consultation shall be made via email.
Okay, I'll ask my question again, Mrs. Hetzer. Is there anything in the 12-month family violence protection order that eliminates your requirement to have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me?
I've answered the question already.
Can you direct me to where it says that?
I can't.
Why not?
You haven't provided me with any documents.
Can I take this to her, Your Honor?
You may.
Melissa, pull over. Well, in her defense, she is also her own attorney. So she is allowed to, she should say objection, asked and answered, or objection, whatever. But she's allowed to object to questions like other people can't, right? No, neither. They're both pro se.
This is the parenting plan and family violence protection order. I don't have the 12-month. I've got to find that real fast, but I'm going to refer to that in a moment.
Hey, wild child. Pro se fight night. While he's looking through that, does anybody know why the judge's stream from today isn't up? Don't worry, it's only lasts a second. Yes. Hold on, let me double check. Was he in a brown jacket today?
What is your understanding about what happens with our parenting agreement with the family violence protective order in place?
The parts that the Family Violence Protective Order
Is that today?
Specify
Or was that
are the
yesterday?
parts from the original order that are overridden by the Family Violence Protective Order.
And is there something in the family violence protection order that prohibits or that removes your obligation to have a reasonable and adequate discussion?
I've answered that question. This is the third time you've asked it.
You said that there is?
I've answered that question. This is the fourth time you've asked it.
Okay.
I don't see it
I can't
today.
find the order. And
I don't see it up.
It does not say that in the order, Your Honor, and I can't find
I'm
it.
going to take judicial notice of what the order says in my decision.
Okay. So did you have a reasonable and adequate discussion with me before you enrolled the children at St. Patrick's Catholic Church?
Before I enrolled them in the church?
Before you took them to the church for the first time?
I don't know what that
The
means.
first time that I took them to the church, I did not have a discussion with you. I had a discussion once it became a matter that was important matter, which is when we decided to attend regularly after the first attendance.
So it's your belief that you don't have to discuss things with me until after you've made a decision?
No.
So you taking the children to church doesn't, are we Christian before all of this?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Were you a practicing Christian before you filed this petition for a restraining order?
No, I was not.
So on April 21st or April, what was our agreement about religious education of our children before you got this final decision making over?
I don't recall having any agreement other than what was court ordered.
What was court ordered?
I believe that there was, I don't remember actually.
Do you not think it's a big deal to take the children to church? That's not a major decision to introduce them to God?
The one time that they attended at one Catholic Mass, they received no appreciable religious instruction or education. And no, I don't believe that
Hi,
that was a
Jen.
major decision. Once I decided to attend regularly and begin having the boys enrolled in children's activities, then I did consult with you at each turn.
Can you tell me what your consulting consisted of?
I would write you an email letting you know what I was thinking or wanting to do, or the upcoming classes or whatever it was, and I would ask for your input.
Your Honor, I've got all of the history of the emails here.
All right, here's a quick summary. So she had jars and he had a jar, and her jars were his and his jars were hers. Only the jar he had on it, only the jar he had her lid on it. So they were supposed to give the jars back, but the driveway is curved. The driveway is curved. I have to say that a couple times because the driveway is curved. The driveway is curved. And then he almost ran her over, or she was walking towards the car or away, and he's a felon. I think I hit everything.
With this discussion, the religious discussion that we had, and I cannot access them because I don't have access to the internet. I didn't realize they were cloud-based, and I can present them for her to testify to them and show the court that she's never had, she's making decisions.
Hi, Chris.
And then telling me about them and asking.
Once again, Mr. Kelly, you present your case, and if what you attempt to present is admissible in the evidence,
And she found God without him. I'm sorry, I missed that. Whoo!
I'm going to allow it. If it's not, I'm
And
not
text
going to allow
messages.
Can I
it.
ask?
I'm not going to tell you how to present your case.
Is there any access to the court's Wi-Fi that I can access the court's Wi-Fi to get the documents from the web?
And that I don't know. You can ask the clerk, is there? They're telling me there's not. Why didn't you come with the copies made of it?
I just assumed that they would be available.
Okay, so you didn't make them available to the court. Okay.
Did you have a discussion with me before you enrolled them in the religious education classes?
Yes, I did.
What was the discussion?
To the best of my knowledge, because I don't have those documents in front of me, I let you know that I wanted them to
Can I
begin.
just inquire so I can be a little more attentive? What does religious upbringing have to do with violence?
It's family violence, Your Honor.
I understand that.
She's alienating the children from me.
All right, and what statutory
Kat.
crime is that under the Family Violence Act?
It's emotional and psychological violence.
I understand, but what crime is it? The way I understand the Family Violence Act, you have to prove that there is some criminal activity going on.
I agree with you, Your Honor. There should be some evidence of criminal activity going on. You're 100% right.
Okay, so where is it?
Where was Cindy's when she petitioned this court?
Well, that order has been issued.
Your Honor, can we have a recess so that I can get a phone with internet service so that I can access my records? I would need less than 10
We're
minutes, Your
going
Honor.
forward, Mr. Kelly. And I'm just merely trying to understand what your position is that religion has anything to do with some sort of criminal act under the family violence statute.
is a violation of the court order or criminal act, Your Honor?
It
my
may
understanding that
be,
a
it may
violation-
be contentious, but I don't believe that it qualifies under the Family Violence Act. Hang on just a second, and I will, refresh my memory at.
The Catholic Church got me in trouble at work tonight. They really did. So, you know, these people, they come in every week to play trivia, and you don't win any prizes. You do get your picture put on Facebook with this trophy. So all these groups come in together week after week after week, and they try real hard to beat each other. And one of the questions was, besides weekly mass, what is the second biggest activity in a Catholic church? And I was totally joking. Okay. So, all right, let me back up a little bit. I'm very lively when I serve. Okay. I'm not very quiet. I'm very lively. So, there was one question about, which OG gangster put up bail money for the Lindenberg baby. And I'm like, OG gangster, that's me. I shouted it out because that's just what I do. Well, when they said which activity it happens most at a Catholic church besides mass, right away I shouted out bingo. And that was the answer. And I'm not supposed to shout out the answer, but I didn't think in a million years bingo would have been the answer. So the Catholic Church got me in trouble today. I'm suing.
As to the Family Violence Act.
Just feel like we're about to watch this guy just lose it completely. Come on, unhinged. I mean, he's already unhinged, but they do take it seriously. That is a fact. Did I say bingo? Tonight was trivia. I'm sorry. I do bingo tomorrow. Sorry, I got them confused. It was trivia night. Oh, bingo. Yeah, I did say bingo, Catholic Church. I just caught up. I'm stupid. Not me. I remembered this time because yesterday I forgot for the first time and I felt bad. Does Victoria yell at anybody during today's Fleischer video?
All right. Family violence is defined as any felony, and I don't see that her.
My coffee pot is 40 cups. 40. I just didn't have time to brew a pot of coffee right now because I started right after I got off work. These are the tiniest cups I've ever had. It's like a shot of coffee.
Decisions about
Nice.
religion constitutes any felony that I'm aware of under the laws of the state of Georgia, or the commission of a battery, a simple battery, simple assault, stalking, criminal damage to property, unlawful restraint, or criminal trespass. How does this fall under any of those categories?
The state of Georgia, and I can't because I don't have access to the internet, the state of Georgia has defined family violence as emotional and psychological violence as well, Your Honor.
I'm reading the statute, Mr.
We can move on if you'd like, Your Honor.
No, that's totally up to you.
Okay, I'm ready to move on.
Might you have some additional
I
evidence?
do have a lot. I found some emails that I can ask her about.
Okay.
On May 14th, I was informed by, can I send her these emails, Your Honor? I only
You
have one.
send them to her, or can you show them to her, you mean? You can show them to her. What purpose are you showing them to her for?
So that she can refer, like, so that her memory is refreshed, so that she
Uh-huh.
can't say that I
Well,
don't remember.
let's ask her first whether or not she did, and if she didn't, doesn't recall, then you can present it. You can stand at the podium there, Mr. Kelly.
Do you remember me asking you on May 14th about Connor and Oscar's church attendance?
No.
So on
Did that said school burn down?
May 14th, I wrote to you and said, Connor informed me that him and
I'm
Oscar.
sure you don't get to tell her. She says she doesn't recall. Now, if you want to take the document and show it to her. But once again, Mr. Kelly, how does the concept of religion deal with family violence?
It's a violation of the court-ordered parenting plan and the family violence
But
protection order.
I've already reflected what family violence is. You're calling this an emergency motion for temporary protective order and modification of the existing.
It's
to
stalking, Your
prevent-
Honor.
Well, hold on just a minute. Now, I have warned you not to talk over me. Have I not?
Yes, sir, and I apologize.
It will not happen again, Mr. Kelly.
Oh, yes, it will.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
And then a modification of existing family violence protective order, ongoing family violence file. Where is the family violence in her? Let's assume she has totally disregarded the court's order in regards to the religious upbringing of these children. How is that an emergency to you? How are you being threatened by that and by a criminal act?
My children and I are having our right to companionship manipulated and denied by her. As I read the law, and I can't.
If I were her, I know it would shoot me right in the foot. I know that I would pay a heavy price for doing it, but I would be giggling my ass off at him right now, as close to the microphone as I could get, because that will definitely unhinge him.
There's a family violence protection order that prohibits her and I from doing X, Y, and Z. And she is violating that family violence protection order. I don't know what, I don't know what I need to say to make you aware that she's violating this court's orders.
I understand that it's your position that she's violating the court order. But how does that entitle you to an emergency temporary protective order or a modification of the existing order because of the ongoing family violence? I'm just merely asking you, Mr. Kelly, my appreciation of the law, that you've got to show some sort of violence. And I don't see it because in the scenario that you're presenting to the court.
Okay, can I continue with my questions for Cindy Hetzer?
I'm sorry.
I understand your position. I will move on.
All right.
Did you prohibit our son from hugging me in a waiting room last Tuesday?
I directed our son to sit down. You indicated that he should come to you because you used the medical visits as visitation periods, and I instructed him to stay seated. But no, I did not. You actually got up and came and hugged him in his chair.
I asked Oscar for a hug. What did you say to him?
I said, stay seated, I believe.
So
Some variation of, please stay seated.
why is Oscar not allowed to give me a hug in a waiting room?
I didn't indicate he could not hug you.
I asked him to give me a hug. You said,
Question's been asked and answered. Let's go on.
yes, sir.
And once again, hugging, how is that a criminal act?
It's parental alienation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
It's parental alienation.
And I understand that, but I don't see where that is a criminal act.
It's family violence.
Please giggle right now, please, lady, please. I'm begging
I'm
you.
merely trying to understand what criminal act it is, Mr. Kelly.
Okay, is it I'm assuming that the court read my motion. And so I don't know what else. I mean, you granted a scheduling order based on my motion. So I'm assuming that there was some sort of a basis for you to have this hearing because you've read the motion. I'm assuming that because you scheduled the hearing, you saw that there was some value to it. And now that I'm trying to argue what's in the motion, you're telling me, no, it's not family violence. I don't understand.
No, sir, you filed a motion and I had previously filed orders that I was not going to issue an order as to a motion without them being heard. Did I not?
Yeah. So, well, can we?
And I'm being, the fact that I scheduled the hearing is not reflective one way or the other of the merits of what you filed.
Okay, so every time I ask her a question to try to get on the record what she's doing, you tell me, no, it's not relevant. It's not family violence.
Well, I'm just asking you so I can have an appreciation. How does it relate to one of these acts that are required under the Family Violence Act? And that's a legitimate question.
Judge, you made him cry.
All right, can I have a recess, please?
We've been going at it for 2.5 hours. We can take a recess. We'll reconvene at it's 11. You might as well say 11:25.
Ozzy, thank
We'll reconvene
you.
at 20 minutes to 12.
Your Honor, can I have permission to bring my phone for a hotspot so I can access records?
Yes, sir. Let's
Thank you.
allow him. But understand, Mr. Kelly, you're to use it solely for a hotspot.
Yes, sir.
You can't be recording. There's prohibitions about that.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Let's let him have his phone solely for the purpose of having a hotspot.
My son left this in the car and he wants it. Can I give it to Cindy to give to him?
You can put it on your, what is it?
It's a toy.
Are you familiar with that tool?
No.
It's a Lego toy.
All right. You take it back and she'll find out whether or not he left it. And if he did, you can get it to him later.
Can I leave this here?
Can you leave what here? Sure. I will be in recess until 20 minutes to 12.
May I step down, Your Honor?
Your Honor, can you ask Mrs. Hetzer not to talk to James or Max about these?
Don't talk to anybody about what's going on.
Yes, sir.
And likewise, Mr. Kelly, you don't talk to anybody about it.
I doubt it. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Look who's here. There's like a real celebrity in the house. Not that you aren't, Bill. Bill, this is your stream. This is so you are the celebrity. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this was good enough content that we're gonna say this is Bill's content. Bill did this whole stream. He just had technical issues, so he couldn't do it himself. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for the super sticker. It's so I love that red. You're awesome, 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 and amazing. And I shall see you in Judge Fleischer's courtroom soon. He's there every day, guys. So, remember how I said we don't have an answer to this? He never came back. He left all this stuff here. And trust me, I was watching and watching and watching because I needed to know. He never came back. Now, it's possible they're going to finish today. I don't know. But if they never finish, I'm pretty sure we have a good idea of which way the judge is leaning on this one. He's going to say that they are not going to change the protection order because there has been no crime here. Yeah, is she mean to him? Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh man, this judge is definitely slow-mo. So slow. And it gets people in trouble because when he's talking, people think that he's done. And then they jump in and start talking. And then he's like, don't talk over me. Hi, Precious Chaos. Yeah, I was watching and waiting. It's also possible that the judge forgot to press the live stream when he came back. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you what I got today.
Car almost into my
Okay.
body.
It's 6 hours and 45 minutes. So this is the docket. And then you tell me if you see him come back online. And maybe I just missed it. He was supposed to come back at 12. This is around 12 right here. Nothing. Just black for the rest of the day. This is around 5. So it's, there's nothing else going to happen after 5. And it is Bleckley. Bleckley. So that's what I got for you guys. I hope that was a good replacement. I bet you Bill's would have been very, very funny. Karen's and Sovsits, and Allie would have had a couple good pro ses on there. And we missed it today. I'm telling you, I even told Bill if he doesn't start streaming, I'm gonna hold my breath and I'll die. And he's like, go die. I'm not streaming. But guys, thank you for coming out. I'm still going to do my stream in a couple hours. I have zero of anything prepared, so I should go and get something prepared somewhere. Maybe something will just fall in my lap. I do have an idea of what I'm going to do. Don't worry. Don't worry. It was really lovely to see you guys in the middle of the night, but not in the middle of the night, if you know what I mean. This was fun. You're going to be sleeping. Man, you could do that when you're dead. Yeah, Chaz is here. Shauna's here. Hanky Panky's here. Not like 2 days in a row or whatever. I don't know days. Chris is here. We got all the other people on this one. Junebug. Junebug got a membership, which means Junebug's probably going to go watch that video. Cat is here. June's going to watch the members only video. That is, I warned her. Him? Junebug, are you a girl or a boy? Junebug to me is a her. I'm just going to keep you as a her, even if you tell me you're a boy. Cujo's here. Randy. Guys, thanks for coming out. If you do go watch the members only video, I warned you. It's explicit. Please, please, please make sure you watch chat replay if you do watch it, because that is it's so good. Oh, Victoria, I adore you. I had a dream about you last night. Oh yeah. And thank you, by the way. All right, where's my outro? That Fozzie created the music too. Thank you, Fozzie. That was my intro, you know, whatever.
Got this life that goes digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes mirror sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each string, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm.